San Pedro Sula, located in the northern region of Honduras, is a city of contrasts. Once celebrated as an industrial hub and economic engine, it now bears a reputation for extreme violence and danger. Its streets, markets, and neighborhoods are plagued by crime rates that make it one of the deadliest urban areas on the planet. For locals, daily life involves navigating threats that most people in the world never imagine. For outsiders, even brief visits can carry unimaginable risk. Violence in San Pedro Sula is not limited to the shadows of back alleys. It spills into public spaces, transforming ordinary errands, commutes, or trips to the market into potential life or death encounters. Shootings, robberies, and gang confrontations can erupt without warning, and the police are often powerless to intervene. Understanding why this area of Honduras has earned such a deadly reputation requires a close look at social, economic, and structural factors. Here are 7 key reasons. Let's watch. 1. Sky-high homicide rates. San Pedro Sula consistently records some of the highest homicide rates in the world. Murders occur not only in crime-ridden neighborhoods, but also on main roads, markets, and even near schools. Violence is a part of daily life, affecting everyone from local residents to unsuspecting visitors. Imagine walking through a busy market, admiring the local crafts, when gunfire suddenly erupts a few blocks away. Vendors scatter and shoppers dive for cover, unsure if the bullets will reach them. In some cases, gang rivalries escalate in public spaces, leaving bystanders caught in the crossfire. For locals, this has become a grim routine, learning which streets to avoid, how to react to emergencies, and when to stay home. Tourists, however, are often unaware of these dangers. Even a brief walk through what seems like a normal neighborhood can turn into a perilous situation within seconds. 2. Gang dominance and turf wars. The violence in San Pedro Sula is fueled largely by gangs such as MS-13 and Barrio 18. These groups control entire neighborhoods, enforcing their own rules with threats and firearms. Gang rivalries are intense and often spill into public spaces, creating an environment of constant danger. Imagine a young man walking home after work when a shootout erupts between rival gangs over territory. Bullets tear through walls and windows, vehicles are damaged, and pedestrians scramble for cover. Local businesses must pay protection fees to gangs to avoid being targeted, and residents adjust their daily routines to comply with gang-imposed curfews. For tourists, the risk is magnified. Unaware of which areas are controlled by gangs, a simple taxi ride or visit to a market can lead them directly into a dangerous zone. In San Pedro Sula, gang control is not a rumor, it is an unavoidable reality of city life. 3. Rampant kidnappings and extortion. San Pedro Sula is notorious for kidnappings, both long-term and express, where victims are held briefly for ransom. Extortion is also widespread, with businesses and individuals frequently targeted. These crimes are not confined to back streets, they happen in neighborhoods, along main roads, and sometimes near government buildings. Imagine withdrawing cash from an ATM when masked individuals force you into a car. Over the course of a few hours, they demand money at multiple ATMs before releasing you. Or picture a local shop owner receiving threats from gang members demanding daily payments, knowing that refusal could lead to violence or death. Tourists are particularly vulnerable to express kidnappings, as criminals perceive them as outsiders carrying cash or valuables. Even residents constantly live with the knowledge that they could be targeted at any time, making San Pedro Sula one of the most dangerous places to navigate in the world. 4. Weak law enforcement and corruption. Even when police are present, protection is far from guaranteed. Law enforcement in San Pedro Sula faces severe challenges, including corruption, underfunding, and infiltration by criminal networks. Bribes, intimidation, and complicity in crime undermine public trust and leave residents and visitors vulnerable. Imagine a local reporting a robbery, only to be told that police cannot intervene unless a bribe is paid, or consider a tourist seeking help after being threatened during a taxi ride, only to discover that the officers are ineffective or unwilling to respond. Corruption and lack of resources allow gangs and criminals to operate freely, further exacerbating the city's dangers. And this breakdown in law enforcement contributes to a sense of lawlessness. Criminals are emboldened by the lack of accountability, while ordinary citizens must navigate their lives without the expectation of safety or justice. For outsiders, the risk is magnified by unfamiliarity with these dangers.
5. Socioeconomic inequality and poverty. Poverty and economic inequality are major drivers of crime in San Pedro Sula. Unemployment is high, and many residents struggle to meet basic needs. In this environment, crime becomes a survival mechanism, from petty theft to organized gang activity. Picture a young man in a poor neighborhood, unable to find work, joining a gang to provide for his family. Entire communities are affected as gangs exploit poverty to recruit members and control neighborhoods. Tourists and visitors are immediately perceived as targets, especially those carrying cash, electronics, or other valuables. This systemic inequality ensures that crime is not merely opportunistic, but embedded into the social structure of the city. Residents live under constant threat, adapting their routines for safety, while tourists often unknowingly place themselves in dangerous situations. 6. Violence spills into public spaces. Unlike cities where crime is concentrated in isolated areas, violence in San Pedro Sula frequently occurs in public and highly populated locations. Shootouts between gangs, robberies, and attacks can happen in streets, bus stations, markets, and near schools. Imagine taking a morning bus through the city when shots ring out on a nearby street. Commuters panic, and chaos spreads in seconds. Even mundane activities such as shopping, commuting, or attending a local event can become life-threatening. This constant risk shapes how residents move, interact, and live, forcing them to navigate the city strategically. For tourists, unpredictability adds another layer of danger. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time, walking along a busy street, or sitting at a sidewalk cafe can have deadly consequences. 7. Political instability and fragmented governance. Political unrest and fragmented governance further compound the danger in San Pedro Sula. Corruption, weak institutions, and local political conflicts leave gaps in law enforcement and public safety, which gangs and criminals exploit. Residents plan their movements around potential unrest, while tourists often lack the knowledge or resources to avoid dangerous areas. Political instability also diverts attention from crime prevention and community safety. When authorities are focused elsewhere or unable to maintain order, criminal activity increases, making daily life and travel inherently risky. The combination of political tension and crime ensures that San Pedro Sula remains a city where danger is omnipresent. Conclusion: a city where danger shapes daily life. San Pedro Sula is a city of stark contrasts. On one hand, it has vibrant culture, rich history, and economic potential. On the other, it suffers from extreme violence, gang control, kidnappings, corruption, poverty, and political instability. Violence in San Pedro Sula is not occasional. It is a persistent reality that shapes life, movement, and freedom. Until systemic issues such as gang control, corruption, inequality, and political instability are addressed, San Pedro Sula will remain a city where danger is constant, unpredictably striking, and an unavoidable part of everyday life. Let us know in the comments what you think about why this area of Honduras is considered one of the deadliest in the world. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.